That's because he's on mine.
I'm up in her office now, Dave.
That's
Okay.
okay, we'll do
I'm
it
running up
jointly.
and down the steps because I don't know what else to do.
We'll do it jointly.
All right. Well, here's
Just
what
stay
we're
6 feet apart and everyone will be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and bring this back. I'll move it.
Okay. Everybody can see that?
Yep.
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 Okay. It's 7 o'clock. So, Mayor, if you want to call the meeting to order.
All rise. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Yep.
Okay. All right. We're going to call this virtual meeting to order. Okay. Councilman Howden.
Here.
Councilman McKinley.
Here.
Councilman Zwig.
Present.
Councilwoman Vernon. She was here. She's on. Debbie, can you hear us? Deb, can you hear us? Okay. I can see that she's on, but she's not responding. Mayor Bia?
Here.
Okay, Mr. Bellavia? He's here. I can see him. Mr. Guerra?
Here.
Chief Doubt?
Present.
I'm here. Ms. Danny?
Here.
Mr. Rayburn?
Here.
Ms. Jobeck?
Here.
Mr. Jobeck?
Here.
Mr. Weber?
Here.
Okay, just an announcement. This meeting was advertised in a legal advertisement in the Valley News Dispatch as a virtual meeting with the meeting ID number on Zoom. This meeting is also being streamed live on YouTube on the Rigoli Law Office channel. Rather than create another channel, I just used my channel. So it's on YouTube. And that's it. So first item of business is motion to approve the minutes of the March 10th, 2020 monthly meeting as received by council, subject to additions, deletions, and corrections.
Motion. Second.
Okay, I heard Phil in a second. Who was on the first?
That's Phil and Adam.
Okay. All right, so Adam motion. Phil. No discussion. Mr. Howden?
Yes.
Mr. McKinley?
Yes.
Mr. Zwig?
Yes.
Ms. Vernon? Okay, she's not responding. Mr. Bia?
Yes.
Okay, 4 A's. I guess, wait, hold on. Debbie, can you hear us? Deb, can you hear us? She keeps going, she keeps muting. I'm trying to unmute her. Should be able to hear us, Debbie. Can you hear us? Okay. Motion to accept the reports of the city treasurer, the police department, community development director for the month of March 2020.
Motion.
Motion by George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the mayor. Okay, Mr. Howden,
Yes.
Mr. McKinley,
Yes.
Mr. Zwig,
Yes.
Ms. Vernon, Mayor Bia.
Yes.
Okay, 4 A's. Okay, motion to file any and all correspondence for future reference.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Adam, second by the mayor. Mr. Howden,
Yes.
Mr. McKinley,
Yes.
Mr. Zwig,
Yes.
Mr. Vernon, Ms. Vernon, Mayor Bia.
Yes.
4 A's. Okay, at this time, we could If there's anybody who wants to comment on agenda items only, the voting, to keep it on one page, I just put the items that we'll be voting on, and the item 11.10 will be a motion to ratify the appointment of Willie Weber as the Emergency Management Coordinator for the City of Arnold that was made on March 20th. So if there's anybody that wants to comment on agenda items only, please go ahead and do so. Unmute yourself if you want to and talk. I see, let me see if I can unmute everybody. Looks like Aaron, anything?
Oh, I'm good, bud.
Okay. There's a Carrie Del Rosso, anything?
Okay.
All right, anybody on the, it's called this Galaxy S8? Okay, so let the record reflect that nobody had any comments before the meeting. So we'll go right into the business portion of the meeting. All right, item 1 is a motion to ratify the payment of all bills for the month of March 2020.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay, it's a motion by George, second by Phil. Okay, Mr. Howden,
Yes.
Mr. McKinley,
Yes.
Mr. Zweig,
Yes.
Ms. Vernon, Mayor Bia,
Yes.
4 ayes. Okay, motion to read Resolution 3 of 2020, resolution of the Council of the City of Arnold authorized to submit a financial assistance application to the Pennsylvania Infrastructure Investment Authority to be used for the combined sewer separation project. Do I have a motion to read this?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by the mayor, second, who was that? I looked down.
Alan, me.
Okay, second by Adam. Mr. Howden,
Yes.
Mr. McKinley,
Yes.
Mr. Zweig,
Yes.
Ms. Vernon, Mayor Bia,
Yes.
5 ayes. Okay, this is Resolution 3 of 2020. The undersigned, as authorized representative of the City of Arnold, the borrower hereby certifies that in a meeting held on the 14th day of April 2020, after due notice, which a quorum was present, the governing body unanimously adopted the following resolution. Resolved that the City of Arnold shall be, and the same hereby are authorized to submit a financial assistance application to the Pennsylvania Infrastructure Investment Authority, known as PENVEST, substantially in the form presented at this meeting for the purpose of partially financing for the combined sewer separation project. Appropriate officers of the governing body are hereby authorized to execute all certifications and documentation required in connection with the application. I hereby certify that the above resolution is in full force and effect as of the 14th day of April 2020. Okay, now that you've heard Resolution 3 of 2020, is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Phil, second by George. Okay, Mr. Howden,
Yes.
Mr. McKinley,
Yes.
Mr. Zweig,
Yes.
Ms. Vernon, Mayor Bia,
Yes.
4 ayes. Okay, next item is a motion to read Resolution 4 of 2020. Resolution, the Council of the City of Arnold authorized to submit a financial assistance application to the PA Infrastructure Investment Authority to be used for the 14th Street outfall project. Is there a motion to read this resolution?
Motion.
Okay, looked like it was George on the first, Adam on the second. Mr. Howden,
Yes.
Mr. McKinley,
Yes.
Mr. Zegg,
Yes.
Ms. Vernon, Mayor Bia,
Yes.
5 ayes, 4 ayes. Okay. The undersigned and authorized representative of the city of Arnold hereby certifies that at a meeting held on the 14th day of April 2020, after due notice, at which a quorum was presented, the governing body unanimously adopted the following resolution. Resolved that the city of Arnold shall be, and the same hereby are authorized to submit a financial assistance application to the Pennsylvania Infrastructure Investment Authority, known as PENVEST, substantially in the form presented at this meeting for the purpose of financially partially financing the 14th Street outfall project. Appropriate officers of the governing body are hereby authorized to execute all certifications and documentation required in connection with the application. I hereby certify that the above resolution is in full force and effect as of the 14th day of April 2020. You've heard Resolution 4 of 2020. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
Motion.
Motion by Phil,
Second.
second by George. Was that George?
Adam.
Adam?
Joe.
Oh, Joe? All right, Joe then. All right, Mr. Howden,
Yes.
Mr. McKinley,
Yes.
Mr. Zrag,
Yes.
Ms. Vernon, Mayor Bia,
Yes.
4 ayes. Okay, motion to approve the second reading to adopt ordinance 3 of 2020, ordinance of the council of the city of Arnold, whereas the city of Arnold, county of Westmoreland, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, establishing regulations applicable to restrict handicap residential parking in the city limits. This is motion to approve a second reading. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Joe.
Second.
Is there a second? By Adam? Okay, Mr. Howden,
Yes.
Mr. McKinley,
Yes.
Ms. Vernon, Mr. Zrag,
Yes.
Mayor Bia,
Yes.
4 ayes. Okay. Ordinance 3 of 2020, an ordinance of the city of Arnold, county of Westmoreland, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, establishing regulations applicable to restricted handicap residential parking in the city limits. You've heard the second and final reading of ordinance 3 of 2020. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 3 of 2020?
Motion.
Motion by the mayor.
Second.
Second. Is that George?
Yes.
Second by George. Okay, Mr. Howden,
Yes.
Mr. McKinley,
Yes.
Mr. Zweig,
Yes.
Ms. Vernon, Mayor Bia,
Yes.
4 ayes. Okay, the next item is a motion to approve the bids received on April 10th for the 5th Avenue and Freeport Road street improvements, subject to further review by the solicitor and the engineer. Mark, did you want to comment on this?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead before we call the motion.
Okay. We opened bids on the 10th at 11 o'clock at City Hall. And I think 4 of the bidders were in attendance, as long as myself and Rick. And the low bid at that time was $325,505.64, which was Youngblood Paving of Wampum, PA. And after the bid was opened, in discussions with Rick, he checked his budget, and our construction budget is approximately $299,000. So we're $25,000 and change over the budget. Now, in the contract specifications, and I'm assuming that everybody had a copy of this, the council has the right, as owner, to eliminate any bid items or to change these as such to benefit the authority. And in doing so, to get to the budget, $299, we had concrete curb replacement, which would have been a bonus if we had money. We deleted that. We're recommending it be deleted from the contract. And also the 14th Street portion, which is a very small portion of the project. And that would be 14th Street from 5th Avenue toward Constitution. When that occurs and you delete those items, the new low bidder is Dairy Construction. And their bid is $296,813, and you should have a copy of that bid tabulation also. And that's the project as we want to go and proceed. I've evaluated the bids a number of different ways by eliminating different things. And when doing that, the only way that Youngblood remains a low bidder is if we just eliminate 14th Street, and that keeps the project at $312,000. The benefit to doing it to Dairy Construction, his price per ton for base repair is $23,000. Well, it's $157 a ton. And chances are we're not going to use that much base repair. Looking at the streets, we always put that in as something we need that, especially down on 5th Avenue because of the soil, that we may have to cut out areas. So any monies left over could go back into 14th Street. So what we'd like to do, subject to the solicitor and Rick and the community development program, is recommend to council that they not award, but to consider the bid of Dairy Construction in the amount of $296,813 even, as listed on the bid tabulation that you have.
Okay, anybody have any questions for the engineer before we vote on that?
Yeah, have you done any projects with them in the past, Mark?
Yeah, we've worked with everybody there except Youngblood, the low bidder. But if you look at the other bidders, they worked in the city actually, all these people. El Grande did some work in the city years ago, same with Independent. Liberoni has not, I'm sorry, I'm looking at that. But Tresco has done some, Felino's done some, and Dairy's done a number of projects in the city.
Okay.
Okay, all right, let me, then is there a motion to approve the bids received on April 10th, 2020 for the 5th Avenue and Freeport Road Street improvements subject to further review by the solicitor and the engineer?
Motion.
I'll make
Okay, motion by the mayor. Is there a second?
second.
Second by Phil. Any questions or comments? Okay, Mr. Howden,
Yes.
Mr. McKinley,
Yes.
Mr. Zweig,
Yes.
Ms. Vernon, can you hear it? Okay, Mayor Bia?
Yes.
All right, 4 ayes. Okay, next item, motion to ratify the emergency motion to post all Arnold City residents regarding trash collection and recycling requirements during the COVID-19 pandemic. It was done on March 16th. Is there a motion?
March 26th.
March 26th, I apologize.
Motion.
Motion by Adam,
Second.
second by George. Any questions or comments? Mr. Howden,
Yes.
Mr. McKinley,
Yes.
Mr. Zweig,
Yes.
Ms. Vernon, Marbia,
Yes.
four ayes. Okay, next item is the one that I orally advised before the meeting. It's the motion to ratify the appointment of Willie Weber as the Emergency Management Coordinator that was done on March 20th, 2020. Is there a motion to ratify the appointment?
Motion.
Motion by George, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Adam. Okay, Mr. Howden,
Yes.
Mr. McKinley,
Yes.
Mr. Zweig,
Yes.
Ms. Vernon, Mayor Bia,
Yes.
4 ayes. Okay, Mayor, I don't know if you want to give the Emergency Management Coordinator an opportunity to talk now, or you want to wait till we do the reports? That's where we're going next.
That's fine.
Is it, I mean, might as well start with him since he's not on the list.
Okay.
Willie, is there anything you want to say? What's going on?
Everything's moving along well. Adam's got his crews on a set schedule. The refuge is being handled and getting out of town. The recycling program has been suspended. We're hauling it with the regular refuge. He'll give that report. Other than that, we're in pretty good shape. Just hoping we can stay the course here.
Okay, all right, thank you. Is there any reports from the event committee? Okay, the treasurer's report?
2% discount for city and county tax ends April 30th. And since the building is closed for incoming traffic, you can either mail the tax payments, or we do have a 24/7 drop-off box directly in front of the city. When that box is used, I will automatically send a receipt. And since the building has been closed, we seem to get more and more in the box every day, so that's a good thing. But that's it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Rayberg?
Yes, demolition is pretty much not progressing too much since the last council meeting because of the weather and him not being able to work. I'm working with the fire department on bid specs and cost estimates for the firefighting apparatus they're going to purchase through the remaining 2017 CDBG and our 2019 CDBG firefighting activities. You just heard about the street openings for Freeport Road and Fifth Avenue. We will review those, Mark, Dave, and I, and make sure they're all in place before we award it. We did get funding for our 2019 CDBG contract. We're in a process of now entering it all into IDIS, and we have to complete all the environmental reviews, but I anticipate to have that all wrapped up and the money being available the early part of May, that we can start drawing down and doing some of these activities. That's it.
Okay. All right. You want to give the building code enforcement report?
Oh, yes, okay.
The police?
Scott is still working with Alvin Wise, the contractor, and trying to get a couple more garages around town down and a couple other homes. He's also working with the street department on the new requirements for garbage pickup, and that's about it.
Okay, Chief Dowd.
Yes, sir. The police department answered 749 calls for service in the month of March, issued 33 summary citations, and had 17 misdemeanor felony arrests, and wrote 2 parking tickets. Also, 2 Crew is our camera installation company. They began today to install our license plate capture cameras. So they'll be in town the next couple of days, hopefully be finished up by Friday. That's about it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Joback?
The fire companies responded on 51 calls in the first quarter of the year. We're still coming out for alarms. We hit our fundraisers have been cut with all the covert isolation. We're hoping for a bit better second half of the year, and that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Gear, did you have anything else?
Just in a holding pattern until they announce those grants. And the contractors are going to open the blacktop plants up probably within the next week or two. So once we get a resolution as to what we're doing, get approvals, we're going to get started sooner than later on the paving.
Okay. All right, thank you. The only thing I have to report is that I've been working with the engineer and the engineer staff on proceeding with the PennVest loan application and making sure that we're complying with all the requirements of everything we need to send into Penvest. Okay, Mr. Howden?
Yeah, we had a meeting scheduled for the pension board at the end of March to formalize some of the discussion we had in January. We canceled that due to the situation now. Hope to do so next month. Basically what we'll do is formalize the use of a new actuarial method to give us a better, clearer, more accurate understanding where we stand with our pension. This so far has not materialized with the projected, this came from the State Department of Finance, and Mario pointed out as well. Local governments are projected to have quite a drop-off in revenue due to the coronavirus situation. Some delays in people paying taxes, and it could impact us later on in the year. So far it has not, but of course, this really didn't take effect until this quarter. So we'll keep an eye on that, and if it does impact us, I think we'll see over the next month or two, depending on how quickly people get back to work and if that affects how our tax revenue come in. So we can keep an eye on that, and that's all I have.
Okay. Ms. Vernon, can you hear us? Are you able to say anything? Deb? Okay. We still can't hear from Deb. Mr. Zweig?
Yeah, so a couple things. In order to keep our street guys safe, we enacted a plan where we have 2 garbage trucks. We've assigned a driver to each truck and another worker to each truck as well. They only work out of those trucks. We've also staggered their start times, so they're not at the city garage at the same time. They're actually not even allowed in the garage at the same time. We only have 5 workers at the moment, so we can't have them commingling in case anything happens with them and they have to be quarantined. That would shut down the whole street department for the city, including garbage pickup. And on to garbage pickup now. We just ratified this motion where we've suspended recycling. Recycling can be put out with regular garbage. All garbage needs to be in a garbage bag and tied. It doesn't necessarily need to be in a can, but there's no loose items, no loose garbage, no cardboard, no yard waste. We're not picking up any of that. We are running both trucks simultaneously, so we have 2 garbage crews running every day. The way it works is the first part of the morning, they go back over the previous day's route to pick up anything that people might have put out that wasn't in a bag that they corrected throughout the day. We have been trying the best we can to work with Scott to tag the people's doors that have loose garbage and cardboard and items that we can't take, to make them aware that we can't take those items and they have to be re-bagged. We're giving the bottom parts of the code enforcement slips to City Hall so they know when the people call City Hall what they're calling about. I think after talking to Willie this morning, I think what we're going to do is maybe not put the tags on the doors. We might put the tags or some sort of notice right on their trash can or on their pile the best we can. So when they walk out and see that it's there, they actually see that. With people not leaving the house as much, they might not see a door tag, the way they might have before. So that's really what we're doing. I had the opportunity to ride with the street crew a couple days in the past couple weeks. There are still people putting out garbage the way they used to, and they approach the street crew. The street crew tells them it needs to be in bags. I've told them it needs to be in bags. Everyone at City Hall tells them it needs to be in bags. We've all told our neighbors this. It's, we're doing the best we can. It's kind of a fluid situation. It changes. For a while, it was changing every day. Now it's changing every few days. We're just trying to stay on top of it and do the best we can. It's not the best system, but it's the system that we have to work with right now. So, I just ask everyone's patience, and we'll get through this.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McKinley?
Yeah, I really don't have too much besides parks will be closed until further notice over the pandemic. And I had a gentleman call me and wanted me to open up the baseball field for him. And unfortunately, I had to tell him no and explain why. But, some people are taking it seriously, some other people are not. But until further notice, all the public parks pretty much closed, along with the buildings to the public.
Okay.
That's all.
I'm sorry. I have one more thing to add. I apologize. In the past, the city didn't pick up bulk garbage. The city's still not picking up bulk garbage, but as in the past, if someone has bulk garbage, they can call City Hall and make arrangements to come and leave it at the dumpster at the city garage at the end of Dre Street. So we're still trying to accommodate that the best we can as well.
Okay. Mayor Bia?
I'd like to thank you all for joining our first virtual meeting. Hopefully we don't have to have many more of these, if any. I'm feeling really cooped up these days, and I think a lot of other folks are, especially just coming out of winter. A lot of cabin fever out there. Hopefully this will only be in another few weeks. A friend of mine that I work with suggested that maybe we start or revive a tradition that's from some old politicians that were out there, where we have a weekly fireside chat. It's something that I told him he was nuts at first, but then I thought about it more and more. And I think that on Fridays, we could start up a Zoom meeting if there's interest. Maybe Fridays at 5, go for an hour, just for people to ask questions, or maybe just they need somebody to talk to. If there's interest, please send me an email, and I can add your email address to the invitation list, and we'll go from there. Other than that, this month's been very, very busy, as you can all imagine. We had some things scheduled that we had to push back, and my personality, I really don't enjoy when we have to push things back. I'd like to get things done, but it's what we have to do at this time. That's all I have.
Okay, so how about if, since I'm the host, I don't know if, I think I'm the only one that can mute and unmute people. I'll get if there's any comments or questions from the public, I'll unmute you. If I can see you, you can wave and I'll unmute you. And let me see, I can start up here. Aaron, did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, I'm good.
Okay, next one I see is Mr. Duncan. Is there anything you wanted to say, sir?
No, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Del Rosso, is there anything you wanted to say?
Just briefly, I'd like to if I haven't met you, I'm Carrie Del Rosso, and I'm running for state representative. I actually wanted to just reach out. I stopped in to see Chief last week with some hoagies for the staff, for the police force, and if there's anything that you need in the community on my end, please reach out. It's carrieforpa.com, but I'm willing to help or try to get things for people in need. I'm dropping food off at food pantries and things like that. So don't hesitate to reach out, okay?
All right, thank you. Thank you. This next one, I don't know who this is. It says Galaxy S8 phone. Is that anybody?
I'm okay.
Okay. The next one I see here is Hal Beatty.
All I wanted to say was that the insurance for the redevelopment authority was paid. I still need a copy of the meeting minutes from last month when we appointed the last two people to the redevelopment authority, so I can get them added to the checking account.
right now, Aaron and I are the only two on it. Other than that, everything's going well, and hopefully we'll be able to have a meeting next month.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, Hal, if you
Yeah.
would email me at aa@cityofarnoldpa.org, I can email you those minutes.
Okay. Mario has my email.
Okay,
Okay?
I'll take care of it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there's a person here identified as AS. Did you need to say anything? There was a person. Oh,
It just left.
here's someone, Catherine Rains. Hold on, it says connecting to audio. Okay, Catherine Rains, did you want to say anything?
Oh, no, thanks. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. We just want to give you an opportunity. There's Allie. I'm trying to unmute, but it won't let me unmute. Oh, she must have dropped off. Mario, did you need? I didn't ask you, but I apologize. I skipped over you. Was there anything you needed to say?
To Hal's point, I thought I sent those to you. Amy will get those to you.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll
thanks.
get you the information.
Okay, thanks. All right. Is there anything else? Anybody from council or the mayor?
I'm good, Dave.
Okay. Once again, this meeting was held virtually, and it's on YouTube, and it was advertised in the Valley News Dispatch. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion.
I can't make the motion.
Motion.
Motion by the mayor, second by, who was that, George?
Phil.
Phil? Okay, motion by the mayor, second by Phil. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Our meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, stay safe.